Hello and welcome to my channel, Annette, the farm wife. Today I'll be making a spaghetti squash meatball slider. For this recipe, I'm going to be using some homegrown ingredients, including the spaghetti squash. This is a spaghetti sauce that I put together with fresh garden produce in the summertime and froze. So much simpler than canning. Approximately 1 pound of beef burger. For the meatballs, that is Italian seasoning, salt and pepper, and onions and garlic. I'll also be using some Parmesan cheese, mozzarella cheese, panko breadcrumbs, and 1 egg. Of course, you need to clean your spaghetti squash and then carefully cut it in half. The skin of the squash is quite tough to cut through, so be careful. After you've opened your squash, you need to remove the seeds. You can either roast these seeds, give them to your chickens if you're like me, or throw them in your compost. If you like what you see, please subscribe. To hasten the cooking process of the spaghetti squash, I put it into the microwave and cooked it for 10 minutes. It's going to be going in the oven later with the meatballs. Cooking it first was a good idea. I grated the onion and the garlic for my meatballs and just chopped up the bits that couldn't grate. There's the steamy squash out of the microwave. That's my hamburger, my grated onion and garlic, the panko breadcrumbs, Italian seasoning, salt, pepper, a homegrown egg. I like to beat the yolk first before I mix it, combine it really well, and then I just formed meatballs onto a plate. Doesn't really matter what size of meatballs you form, but I would suggest making your meatballs all the same size. Now the meatballs are done, so the plate looked beautiful. And then there was one that wouldn't fit into the pattern. I just don't like that, so I kept it aside because I thought, nope, doesn't fit the way I put them on the plate. I know it's silly, that's how my brain works. I'm just squishing that squash a little bit with my thumb to show that it is partially cooked from the microwave. Then I puzzled and puzzled over how to cut up the squash so it would be just the right size for my meatball sliders. I eventually got that figured out, and then I put my freshly formed meatballs onto each piece of spaghetti squash. Thank goodness I had that meatball in the bowl because I had just the right amount of meatballs for my squash sliders. Good job. I covered that pan with tin foil and I popped it in the oven that was preheated to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and I did leave these meatballs in there for 45 minutes. I uncovered them and then I baked them for another 5 minutes. While they're baking in the oven, this is my frozen spaghetti sauce. There's tomatoes, there's a stick of, freshly frozen oregano, some onions, some garlic, and some fresh basil in there. Trust me when I say that this is a delicious sauce. And if there was smell-o-vision, guys, you'd be drooling. I would only suggest using a hot sauce in this process because your pan is hot, and if you're using glass cookware like I am, your pan might explode. That'd be bad. Those are Parmesan petals, and then I topped it with mozzarella cheese. I needed to use up that mozzarella cheese, so this was good timing making this dish. My goodness, I've already tried this, but that looks so delicious. And it was delicious. And pretty low carb, guys. Awesome. I love it. Take care and I'll hope to see you again. Bye for now.